Silence carries messages few can hear, and tonight that silence speaks louder than ever. Certain souls awaken not by chance, but through a subtle call woven into the fabric of existence. These are the chosen ones, individuals whose path intersects with responsibilities far greater than themselves. Many misunderstand such awakenings as burden or destiny imposed, yet it is simply alignment with a universal order older than time itself. Throughout history, ancient masters observed these awakenings in the quiet moments, in the pauses between storms. The universe does not speak in loud proclamations, but through emergencies, disruptions, and sudden shifts, signaling guidance rather than punishment. These moments, often mistaken for chaos, are invitations to step deeper into awareness, to recognize the unseen patterns that shape life. Only those attuned can discern the hidden meaning behind what appears urgent or alarming. In this video, the veil lifts on secrets seldom discussed. Viewers will learn how to recognize these universal signals, how to distinguish between fear and guidance, and how to align personal action with cosmic rhythm. Lesser-known insights from Shaolin teachings will reveal how crises serve as mirrors, reflecting readiness, resilience, and inner strength. By the end, these signals will no longer feel like interruptions, but as markers on a path of conscious mastery, guiding every step toward clarity and purpose. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, a place where ancient wisdom meets modern awakening. Subscribe now and journey with us through knowledge often hidden, yet always present. Stay until the final word, for tonight the call is not just a story. It is an invitation to awaken, to align, and to step into the responsibilities that define the chosen path. The universe waits for those ready to listen. There comes a moment when the world outside seems to stall, when the noise fades and even time itself feels suspended. This is the divine lockdown, not a punishment but a sacred pause, a quiet invitation to turn inward. In these moments the mind often resists stillness, seeking distraction in movement or thought. Yet the true lesson lies in surrendering to the pause. The universe speaks softly during such times, through signs too subtle for the hurried soul. A flicker of intuition, a recurring thought, a sudden clarity. These are the whispers meant to guide the chosen ones. Slowing down is not a retreat. It is an act of courage. It is in this deliberate stillness that the mind begins to see beyond ordinary perception, recognizing patterns and insights that the rush of daily life obscures. Shaolin masters have long taught the power of stillness before action, before a strike is made, before a movement is executed. The body rests in awareness, attuned to the rhythm of energy and intention. So too must the mind rest before responding to the challenges that arise in life. The divine lockdown mirrors this principle, calling for patience, observation, and discipline. During this pause, the external world becomes a reflection of the inner. Every distraction avoided, every moment of quiet attentiveness strengthens clarity. The chosen ones learn to discern the currents beneath the surface, the hidden forces shaping events, and the subtle truths that often pass unnoticed. This is the teaching of the lockdown, that true mastery is not forged in relentless action, but in the careful cultivation of awareness, in the deliberate act of listening, and in the courage to wait for the right moment to move. Awareness is the silent foundation upon which all mastery is built. Before any skill, any action, any decision, the mind must first know itself. In the Shaolin tradition, warriors are trained not only in movement but in perception, an ability to witness thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without becoming entangled in them. This clarity, cultivated patiently, becomes the root of all strength. The practice begins with simple observation. Thoughts arise and pass like clouds across the sky. Emotions swell and recede like waves upon the shore. Rather than clinging or resisting, the student learns to notice, to name, and to let them flow. The world outside offers the same lessons, sounds, gestures, and changes in atmosphere present constant invitations to remain alert and present. Through disciplined attention, even the smallest detail becomes a teacher, revealing patterns that guide action and decision. Awareness transforms reaction into response. life often presses with urgency, testing patience and composure. A mind untrained in awareness responds impulsively, swept by emotion or fear. Yet a practiced mind, rooted in observation, chooses its course deliberately. The Shaolin master knows the difference between immediate impulse and considered action. Each movement, each choice, carries intention rather than chaos, and through this, mastery begins to emerge, not as dominance over others, but as sovereignty over oneself. Beyond technique, awareness opens the door to subtle truths, the interconnection of cause and effect, the rhythm of energy that underlies events, the quiet signals often overlooked by those who move hastily through life. In cultivating this principle, one develops patience, insight, and balance. Mastery, in its deepest sense, is not measured by external achievement but by the calm, deliberate alignment of mind, body, and spirit with the flow of life itself. Breath is the bridge between body and mind, the quiet rhythm that anchors awareness to the present moment. In the halls of Shaolin temples, masters teach that every inhalation and exhalation carries power, not only to sustain life, but to shape perception, focus, and intent. The mind, often restless and scattered, finds stillness when guided by the deliberate cadence of breath. Through deep, conscious breathing, the tension that clouds judgment begins to dissolve. Panic and anxiety, fleeting yet powerful, lose their grip when the practitioner returns attention to the rise and fall of the chest, to the flow of air through the nostrils. Each breath becomes a tool, a measure of discipline, and a channel through which clarity flows. In this quiet rhythm, intuition awakens, the body senses patterns, the mind perceives nuances, and decisions emerge with a natural precision. Presence follows breath. To breathe fully is to inhabit the moment completely, to inhabit the self without distraction. This presence is not mere awareness. It is alignment with the subtle currents of life. Actions taken from this grounded state carry weight and purpose, moving in harmony with circumstances rather than against them. The Shaolin teaching emphasizes that true mastery is never hurried, never forced. It unfolds in the quiet intervals between inhalation and exhalation, in the attentive stillness that precedes action. Those who cultivate breath and presence develop a natural compass guided by inner rhythm rather than external noise. Each step, each decision resonates with intention, reflecting a mind trained to observe, a spirit disciplined to align. In mastering this simple, ancient practice, one discovers that the body is a vessel, the mind a mirror, and the breath a key to navigating life with clarity, calm, and a profound sense of purpose. Fear is a shadow that often appears larger than the reality it reflects, a force that tests the depth of inner composure. In moments of crisis or sudden urgency, the mind instinctively recoils, seeking safety or control. Yet within the Shaolin tradition, such moments are not signs of weakness, but invitations to cultivate calm strength. Emergencies, whether subtle or profound, act as mirrors, revealing the unsteady parts of the mind and offering the opportunity to respond with clarity rather than impulse. The path begins with observation. Fear arises, undeniable and immediate, yet the practitioner learns to witness it without becoming entangled. This is detachment, not avoidance, not suppression, but a mindful recognition that emotions are transient visitors, not masters of action. By observing fear without clinging to it, the mind regains its natural equilibrium, creating space to assess circumstances with precision. Urgency too loses its tyrannical pull when met with the same attentive neutrality. Detachment cultivates resilience. The Shaolin student discovers that true power lies not in controlling events, but in maintaining composure within them. Each moment of stillness amidst chaos strengthens the mind, reinforcing the capacity to act decisively when the time is right. Decisions guided by clarity rather than by reactive tension carry weight and effectiveness far beyond the reach of impulsive effort. Over time, this disciplined approach transforms the very relationship with life's challenges. Fear no longer dictates movement, and urgency becomes a signal rather than a command. The practitioner learns that mastery is revealed not through the absence of difficulty, but through the ability to remain centered, observant, and resolute in the face of it. Inner strength, cultivated through detachment, becomes a foundation upon which all skill, insight, and purposeful action are built. True lockdown begins within. The world may impose limits, distractions, or crises, yet the most profound barriers are not external. They are the untrained impulses, scattered thoughts, and unsettled emotions within the mind. Shaolin masters have long taught that to withstand the storms of life, one must first construct an inner fortress, a sanctuary of clarity and strength impervious to chaos. This fortress is built through meditation, a deliberate turning inward that cultivates awareness and steadiness. In silence, the mind learns to observe itself, to notice the patterns that govern reaction, and to release the rest. Each breath, each moment of stillness becomes a brick in the foundation, a reinforcement against the unpredictable tides of the outer world. Discipline strengthens the walls further. Routines of practice, reflection, and mindful action condition the mind to remain balanced, even when circumstances threaten to unravel composure. Self-reflection acts as the architect of this inner sanctuary. By examining thoughts and emotions with honesty and detachment, one identifies weak points, unseen fears, and hidden desires that may compromise judgment. This ongoing refinement, quiet and patient, sharpens resilience and clarity. The mind becomes a place of strategic calm, where insight replaces impulsivity and intention guides movement. Within this fortified mind, chaos is no longer a threat, but a test of preparedness. Events that would overwhelm the untrained find the practiced mind steady and unshaken. Decisions emerge from discernment rather than reaction, and energy once dissipated on anxiety or confusion is redirected toward purposeful action. The inner fortress is not rigid or closed. It is alive, adaptable, and responsive, yet anchored in awareness and discipline. Strengthened in this way, the mind becomes a vessel capable of navigating uncertainty with confidence, a testament to the enduring power of internal mastery over external circumstance. Stillness is often misunderstood as passivity, yet within the Shaolin tradition, it is the source of all decisive action. True stillness is not an absence of motion, but a state of clarity, a quiet preparation in which the mind, body, and spirit align. It is in this space that intention crystallizes and action becomes precise, purposeful, and unstoppable. The teaching of strike from silence embodies this principle. A master waits, observing the rhythm of the world, attuned to the subtlest shifts in energy. The strike emerges not from haste or tension, but from the stillness that precedes movement. In the same way, life often demands action amidst uncertainty. Frantic reactions scatter energy and blur judgment, while deliberate, conscious action harnesses the full force of awareness and timing. Each decision made from stillness carries weight beyond what the impatient mind can achieve. Stillness cultivates perception. In quiet reflection, the patterns of events, the tendencies of others, and the subtle currents guiding circumstances become visible. This awareness allows one to act at the precise moment when effort meets opportunity, transforming ordinary motion into mastery. Discipline reinforces this practice. Habitual reflection, meditation, and attentive observation train the mind to pause before moving, to listen before speaking, and to respond with intention rather than impulse. Through repeated practice, stillness becomes a source of power. It teaches patience, strengthens focus, and fosters a deep confidence that action need not be loud or hurried to be effective. In life, as in the Shaolin arts, the greatest impact often emerges not from constant struggle but from the measured application of skill honed in silence. Those who learn to strike from stillness find that every step, every decision, and every movement resonates with clarity, purpose, and enduring strength. The universe communicates in whispers, often subtle enough to be overlooked by the untrained mind. A falling leaf, a repeated phrase, or a chance encounter may carry messages if observed with attention and intention. Shaolin teachings emphasize that life is layered with meaning, and those attuned to its rhythms can perceive guidance embedded within ordinary events. Recognizing these signs requires more than noticing. It demands mindful presence and a cultivated sensitivity to the unseen currents shaping reality. Repeated symbols or patterns are seldom accidental. When the same number, image, or circumstance appears, it signals alignment or warning, a form of cosmic punctuation, guiding the chosen soul. To dismiss these occurrences as coincidence is to ignore the language of life itself. The ancient masters understood that the world is interconnected. Every action, every thought ripples outward, and every signal carries significance. By observing these synchronicities, one begins to navigate life with foresight, choosing paths in harmony with both circumstance and inner purpose. Discernment is the skill that transforms observation into wisdom. It is not merely noticing patterns, but interpreting them with clarity and balance, free from projection or desire. Mindfulness strengthens this faculty, sharpening the ability to distinguish true guidance from illusion. Meditation, reflection, and disciplined attention act as tools, tuning perception so that subtle cues become unmistakable. In this practice, patience is essential. Signs reveal themselves in their own time, and the practitioner learns to wait, to watch, and to trust the flow of life. Through consistent mindfulness, intuition blossoms, illuminating choices and fostering alignment with higher purpose. The more one observes, without haste or attachment, the clearer the path becomes, and the more life unfolds not as random chaos, but as a network of meaningful guidance waiting to be understood. True mastery extends beyond the boundaries of self. The chosen ones, awakened to higher responsibilities, carry a calling that surpasses personal desire. Shaolin teachings have long held that power, skill, and discipline find their highest expression only when directed towards service, when individual growth becomes a vessel for the welfare of others. The path of personal mastery is not complete in isolation. It is inseparable from the impact one has upon the world. To act beyond self-interest requires awareness, courage, and restraint. The ego naturally seeks recognition and reward, yet the disciplined practitioner learns to set aside these impulses, aligning action with a larger unseen order. Each act, whether small or grand, resonates outward, contributing to harmony, balance, and the elevation of collective energy. The mind, trained through meditation, reflection, and mindful action, becomes a channel through which intention flows freely, unencumbered by fear, pride, or attachment. Shaolin philosophy teaches that power without purpose is wasted energy, a force that dissipates rather than transforms. Strength must be guided by clarity, and skill must serve a meaningful end. In this perspective, mastery is measured not by conquest or accumulation, but by the ability to act decisively, wisely, and selflessly when the needs of others intersect with one's own path. Serving a higher purpose cultivates humility, focus, and discipline. It transforms challenges into lessons and adversity into opportunity. For the chosen ones, learn that their influence is greatest when grounded in integrity and awareness. Each deliberate action echoes beyond immediate circumstances, shaping both character and circumstance. Through service, personal mastery finds its fullest expression, and the disciplined mind discovers that true power lies not in possession, but in the ability to align skill, intention, and action with the enduring currents of life itself. Crisis often arrives unannounced, appearing as a force to resist or fear. Yet within the Shaolin tradition, every disruption carries the potential for profound transformation. When the outer world imposes restrictions, the true lockdown occurs within, an opportunity to examine the mind, confront limitations, and cultivate resilience. This internal pause is not confinement. It is the crucible in which character is forged and clarity is revealed. Embracing discomfort with awareness is the path to mastery. The body and mind naturally resist strain, yet those trained in discipline learn to meet tension with calm observation. Each challenge becomes a mirror, reflecting habits, fears, and unresolved patterns that impede growth. By holding presence amidst adversity, insight emerges. Discomfort is neither enemy nor punishment, but a teacher guiding the chosen ones toward higher understanding. Transformation is born in the space between recognition and response. The disciplined mind discerns opportunity within difficulty, and the patient spirit acts with intention rather than impulse. Crises, when approached with mindful awareness, accelerate spiritual and personal development, revealing strengths previously hidden and possibilities previously unseen. This is the alchemy of hardship, the conversion of uncertainty, fear, and turbulence into wisdom, clarity, and inner power. The Shaolin perspective encourages seeing challenges as accelerators rather than obstacles. Each test of patience, each moment of tension, sharpens perception and cultivates self-mastery. Over time, the practitioner learns to navigate life with composure, acting from a place of insight and equilibrium rather than reaction. In this way, crises become stepping stones, internal lockdowns become gateways, and the pressures of life transform into forces that elevate both skill and spirit. Through deliberate awareness and disciplined practice, the chosen ones discover that growth is inseparable from challenge and mastery is inseparable from the courage to endure and learn. The universe's emergency lockdown is not a warning, but a call to awaken, to pause, and to realign with the deeper currents of life. It reminds us that moments of stillness are opportunities, that challenges are not obstacles, but invitations to cultivate clarity, courage, and purpose. Through mindfulness, we observe the mind without attachment. Through awareness, we recognize patterns and guidance hidden in the subtle movements of life. Through conscious breath, we anchor presence and sharpen intuition. Through detachment, we meet fear and urgency with calm strength. And through deliberate, purposeful action, we navigate life not as reactive participants, but as masters of our own path. True mastery is revealed not in avoiding crises, but in responding to them with composure, insight, and integrity. Each challenge carries the seed of growth, and every pause offers the chance to refine the mind and strengthen the spirit. By embracing these principles, we turn disruption into guidance, uncertainty into clarity, and trials into pathways of transformation. Carry this understanding into daily life. Observe, reflect, breathe, and act with intention. Let each moment of stillness become a source of strength, and each difficulty a teacher guiding you toward higher purpose. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If you feel called to continue your journey of inner mastery, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire and join a community committed to awareness, discipline, and growth. Embrace the calm, honor the pause, and let your actions flow from the quiet power within.